the topic for today is how can builders get back to inquiries? All right. So someone that inquires with them for a consultation, or even, for some of those clients that we're running opt-in campaigns where there's even a phone number. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into this. I guess the first thing I want to pre-frame is why is this so important? Why is it so important to get back to inquiries as soon as possible? And why is it important to bring all you've got to it?
Well, it puts you light years ahead of anyone else. It positions you as highly professional, as excited. You're keen, you want to help them. There's a desire there that you want to help them. And all of your communication, your marketing also should be setting you as an authority and talking about you and how you understand them. And then you back that up when you follow up with them and how you talk to them.
Yeah.
It helps set the relationship off on, I think, the best terms from the beginning.
Yeah. So anything initial conditions, like if you think in terms of any relationship, initial conditions, or even you planting a plant, right? If the initial conditions are not right, it's going to affect it later on. Mm-hmm. So this is literally you're planting seeds way before that. People know about you as a builder way before you know about them. That's what it should be. That's what your marketing should be doing. But the time when they inquire, that's where you've got to really nurture that seed. Again, you should have been doing that all along the way before that, but now you've got to start nurturing that seed really well and really stand out. And I think a big reason why, I believe, is you might not be excited. You're running a business, it's Monday morning, and you're like, man, I'm looking at my cash flow, or I'm looking at all these problems on site, or some of these trades that have stood me up, or these suppliers that have raised their prices, or whatever. You're running all these different things and you forget about the client's excitement. They are coming to you. They are super excited. They might have been following you for 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. They are excited. So you've got to match that excitement. You've got to acknowledge their excitement, make them feel important. And that's where I honestly believe the builders that can make their prospects feel important, they'll win. Big time. That's kind of a good why. Anything else before we go into the how, some of the tactics that our clients can use to get back to inquiries, why?
A long list of... Oh, we're going to get into tactics?
Well, I think here's another why. Mate, you're spending time and money into marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You've invested a lot into your marketing and everything to set that up to position you and to get this attention.
Yeah. And I think, so obviously your marketing and your story, it's got to build so much trust. And I believe one of the main reasons why you do marketing is for your current clients, for them to keep believing in you, trusting in you, and keep that excitement up. And then for prospective clients that are in your pipeline already, you guys are already talking, obviously. So it's part of your sales, really. And then also for the people that don't know about you. Your marketing isn't just for people that don't know about you to drive leads and inquiries. Yes, every business needs leads and inquiries, but that's a small part of this whole thing. If your brand and your story, it's not out there and doing its thing with clients, with everyone, then But on this topic, you are spending time and money on marketing. When you do get that inquiry,
are you making the most of it?
Yeah. If you're a very high-end builder, let's say you're doing $25 million projects, how many inquiries can you expect a year? If you get one inquiry, you'll be lucky. If you're a granny flat builder, you might get, tens, 20s, hundreds a month or whatever, right? Depending on how your budget and all that. Yeah. So really, it's different for all builders, but the one thing remains the same. When you get that inquiry, how are you dealing with it?
Here's some higher level stuff, and then each of these would have subcategories and things. But if we go email, text, call, selfies. Okay,
so those are all vehicles, right?
Yes.
Those are all ways you can deliver that message. But what should be your mindset of getting back to an inquiry?
You should genuinely be excited. You should work on your mindset. That's going to be really important. So when you see inquiry come through, focusing on that mindset you're going to need to approach them, because the more excitement and genuineness you can bring, I think that's important. And the authenticity. This is a big topic that came up in synthesis the other day. Authenticity is massive. So you want to go with them with authenticity and go, I'm reaching back out to this person as quick as possible to just see how I can help them.
That's right.
That's right. In that moment, that's all I want to do. Like Craig talked about when he has that consultation, that first consultation with someone, he doesn't even turn up with his tape measure. It's just, I'm just here to make sure that I'm understanding you.
Yeah.
And then we have a relationship.
And really
connecting. Yeah.
If you can connect, meaning if you can create a relationship, everything else is so much easier. But yeah, so just going back to this mindset, I love this. This is gold. So before you write out a template email or a script or anything, I think you got to get your mindset right first.
And the mindset must also include a way of thinking in terms of, doesn't matter what that 99% of the time, it doesn't matter what that inquiry looks like. It might look like not ideal at all. Go with the mindset of, this is an ideal client. Yeah. This person's perfect. But right now, I just want to let them know that I'm acknowledging them. Thank you for their inquiry. Thank them for that. And just see and help them feel like I'm here for them. I understand them. I'm acknowledging them.
That's good.
Because I can't tell you how many times our builders, when we encourage them to do that, the inquiry very quickly becomes ideal. On face value, on paper, my budget's this, I want to do this, my time frame is this, or I want it done by this. You think, oh man, this person's what a jerk, they're so arrogant, or that budget will never, oh man, drop them. Whereas if the amount of times our builders have reached out to the person and gone with the mindset of, I just want to help them, even if it's just to say, hey, look, love what you guys are trying to do, spot on with what we specialize in. I just want to be upfront, and I don't want you to be stung by anyone. Your budget doesn't allow for that.
Yeah.
I would love to maybe catch up with you and talk to you more about what it is that you're trying to achieve, and maybe kind of give you a ballpark, and just make sure that what you're telling me you want is actually aligned with the outcome you're trying to achieve. Because those are two very different things. I think often prospective clients get confused with. I want this to be done with my home, but when they're asked the question, and a good builder will ask this kind of question, what is the outcome that you want from this? What is the lifestyle that you're trying to achieve? What's your why? Oh man, I can achieve that.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have to even spend that much. Maybe we can just do this and this and get that. Or maybe when you align their why, it's like, oh, well, my why is so important, I will happily increase my budget by 30% or 20% because my why is important. And often it comes down to a lack of education. They're saying their budget is X because they think that's what they can get for X.
That's good, man. So I guess, what I'm hearing is like, we've got to have this mindset, right, including ourselves, this mindset of like, treat every inquiry like it's our dream client.
Yeah.
Even if they're not. Treat every single person like a millionaire. Yeah. Even if you know for a fact you cannot help this person, for example, it's way out of your location. You're based on the Gold Coast, someone is inquiring in Darwin. Don't just email them back and say, sorry, can't help you. Even if you can, I don't know, even if you can spend 1 minute on the phone and actually from the inside of you go, how can I actually help this person? You don't know what's going to happen with that.
So a great example would be one of our builders who had someone opt in, and then they responded to the second email nurture we help our builders set up, and they responded, but our builder didn't have the right mindset, and so we had to work with him on that. His mindset was, this person's just an opt-in, and they just responded to this. I think it was like, oh, hey, thank you so much for email. Yeah, this X, Y, and Z, we're trying to do this. I'll do X. I don't want to give too much information away. And so our builder was like, oh, great, that's a nice response, and left it. And I said to him, mate, what have you done with that? Because we had to catch up. The timing worked out well, and we had to catch up, and he was explaining this to me, and I said, what have you done with that? When did that come through? Oh, it came through yesterday. I said, have you replied to it? No, you got to reply it straight away. And did reply. And then that person came back a week later, full, application to build with our builder for a $3.5 million build.
Gee,
And
that's insane.
and that's someone who's gone from an opt-in. And what I explain to our builders is...
And what's an opt-in? That's an email address, right? And a name.
And a name.
That's all information they have. And sometimes a phone number.
Sometimes a phone number. And this is the important part with those 2 offers when we explain to our builders.
Yeah.
It's so important to make 2 offers. The one offer is for the 1% of the market who are going, I really like what I see and I want to talk to you.
And I'm ready.
And I'm ready. Let's talk. But that's 1% of the market who are ready today to do that. The other 99% are going to be wanting to talk to you tomorrow or sometime in the future. 2 months from now, 4 years from now. And so, one, you've got to have that system in place. But that second offer is so important. And the example I give is, it's like when you walk into Harvey Norman and you just walk in and someone goes, hi, can I help you? And you think, whoa, no, I'm fine. I'm just looking.
Back off, man. Back off.
I'm just looking. Chill. And then 5-10 minutes in, you've gone to the product that you went there. You had intention to go there. You already had the desire that you were going to buy at some stage. Maybe not today, but let's say you are. You walk in there, you walk to the product, you look at it, you maybe look at another product, and then within 5-10 minutes, you're thinking, okay, now I've got some questions about this, just to be clear on things. All right, well, now I need to look for someone. Had the person at the front door said to you, can I help you? And you said, no, I'm just looking. And they said to you, excellent, no problem. Would you like me to come find you in 10 minutes and answer any questions you have? Yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah, because most of the time when you want to actually buy something, you can't find anyone.
Yeah.
So there's no offer.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So those 2 offers are very, very important. And that second offer is, so you like what you see right now, but you're not ready to talk? Fantastic. Let's provide you with value.
Yeah.
Let's take you on a journey and nurture you. And so that person has literally put their hand up and said, I like what I see. It's more than just I want to build. Because what the asset we create and the branding and marketing we create for our builders is very custom to them.
Yeah.
So that person has said, I really like what I see with you. And I want to know more. I have the intention of talking with you at some stage. Clearly, I'm looking at building.
Yes, you need both those offers.
You need both those offers.
Yeah.
And then our builders need the mindset, here's a prospective client.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not this week, maybe it's next week, or maybe it's in 4 years. What all are you doing?
That's right.
To nurture and increase. Yeah, the automations we set up are going to do a huge help with that.
Yeah. But what else can you do?
Yeah. So like one of our guys who's asked for a number, some of our builders want that
For
name, email, and number for an opt-in.
Yeah.
He then calls them. Within, I think, for an opt-in, he leaves it
2 days
48 hours, 72 hours max. That's fine for an opt-in because they've said they're not ready to talk right now, so you give them a bit of space. But he definitely calls them. And then he will say, hey, it's so-and-so from ABC Building, and I just wanted to make sure that you got that asset, that it's provided you with value, and just understand what you are dreaming of doing one day.
Yeah.
It's a very soft approach.
Yeah, and even asking the question like, yeah, want to make sure you got it, and you were able to open it up, and then even asking the question, was there any particular reason why you wanted to download it? Because that'll give you so much feedback right there.
Yeah.
They might say, well, I just wanted to get some ideas, I want to build, I don't know, in 4 years' time. And good. How else can I help you? Hey, you're going to get emails from us ongoing now. So, hey, at any point, reach out to me if there's anything you want to know.
Yeah.
If there's anything you don't know, like council stuff, and I can point you in the right direction, whatever.
Yes. And this is now where it's like, okay, well, what else can you do? So one of our builders I caught up with last week, or a few of them, I said, at that stage, before you get off that call, book something in next.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just book something in with them. So say, hey, look, I know you're just looking. You might just say, hey, I know you're just looking. How about I send you an invite and we just touch base over the phone in a week's time, a month's time, 6 months' time.
Yeah.
Vibe on how sort of hesitant they are maybe, but you say to them, would you like me to send you an invite and I can just give you a call for a little catch up maybe in 2 weeks' time or 6 months' time? You can give them that option and they might say, no, 2 weeks is fine. That'd be great. Or they might say, yeah, 6 months is fine, or 3 months, and then let them tell you.
That's good.
And then you kind of get.
Why do you want to do that?
Because that way you've got something booked in, and they're going to feel like this person's here just to help me.
Yeah.
They're not trying to push or sell, because you've told them, you've asked them. You've asked them, would you like me to touch base with you, or this is like the assumptive close. How about you're just assuming you're going to do it. Okay, how about I book something in for us? Would 2 weeks help you better, or would 6 months be better for
Yeah.
you? Just to touch base and answer any questions you guys have when it comes to making an informed decision about building, what you're going to do when the right time is, and things like that.
Yeah. And again, you have that, it goes back to the first little how you said before, that mindset. Like,
Yeah.
treat every single inquiry like it's your ideal client. You're there to help, even if the chances are like 99% chance you're not going to even do that project.
Yep.
Even if you don't want to do that project, say, hey, can I book in a 5-minute chat with you and just answer any questions? Like, chances are we might not be able to like actually build for you.
Yeah.
But at that time, you might be more clear about what you want to do and accomplish. And I might be able to connect you with someone in my sphere that might be able to help you even better. Mate, there's no selling here. Like traditional sales. This is like sales as a service.
I think the mindset that's helped a lot of our builders go in that I give them is, you're not the hero, you're the guide. So your prospective client's the hero. So go in as a guide and believe, and that belief and knowledge to know I'm the guide. And if you look at any story, any movie, the hero can't get the outcome that they want. They can't get the girl. They can't slay the dragon without the guide's help. And so if the guide's just there to, I guess, help them have that epiphany.
Yeah.
And they can't achieve the outcome without the guide, but it's their journey, you know?
Yeah. And
So,
it's that feeling, like one of our clients always say, it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel, right? So again, even if you can't build for them, or even if you can build for them, it's about like, wow, this person like is going out of their way, that I thought I will be way too small for them. My project will be way too small for this builder.
yeah.
And they are way above. And I didn't even think they will make a minute for me, but they've literally just given me a call to like, see if they could help, and then booked a call for like a few months out.
Yeah.
Now they've got this feeling of like, man, so guess what happens? Even if you don't build that project, this person has parents, family,
Exactly.
friends.
Exactly.
Who did this happen to lately? One of our builders got an inquiry. It was obvious it was not a good fit for the builder. He helped
Who was that?
the people by talking to them and just steering them in the right direction. And then they got a referral from that person within like a month or two. Do you remember that? Maybe it's happened a few times.
I know, I just can't picture who it is, but I know of another story of like, I mean, we have a lot of stories, but like another builder who, the first person that reached out to them was a good fit, and they were they was designing, and that person was already referring people. And so that then the next person who had been referred came, and then they entered that design preliminary. And because that first person had been so well nurtured, they were such a great ambassador. They were so well educated. They'd been in their system being nurtured for a long time. So they were, and that's a great way to look at this whole system that we put in place for our guys. You're creating, as this message is for our builders, when you put all of this in place, you're creating really, really good ambassadors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your marketing should be creating really good ambassadors for you.
My mind is just trying to find this builder now. It was crazy. So like, I'm gonna butcher this, but like, let's say I think our client was like, he only did like $1 million+ projects, and then he got an inquiry for like under $100,000 or whatever, and he helped this person so much and guided them to the right, like someone else that could help that person, and then someone else came along with like he referred someone, this prospective client referred someone with like a 1.5 or 2 mil project or something, and it went ahead. It was nuts. And that's why I'm like, because we've sat at breakfast and so on with other builders, with bad attitude, bad mindset. Yeah, I'm getting these inquiries and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like a little bit of what do you call it? I don't want to say nasty words on this podcast. Not that I ever do anyway. But what's the, just complaining the whole time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a complaint festival, right? They're complaining about, we're getting these people and all they want is this and they don't understand this. And, we're just getting these prospective clients, right? Like this other client of ours that I can't remember who it was. If he had that same attitude, he would not have received that other referral.
But he took that first person in and treated him like
gold,
and literally just, created a great ambassador and then sent them back out.
Gee.
It's
like a salesperson.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay that person.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I love that, mate. It's like a massive like mind. I was going to brainstorm like 10 topics, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, But I think we just got one out, and it's like mindset. You've got to, treat every client like your ideal client. The rest will follow from there. So I'm going to shoot some tactics that I see you do really well. So you try and communicate in all different channels, right? So we've got the automated system in place to nurture our prospective clients. Okay, so it's sending out that content. That's good. Our organic marketing, it's doing its job there. It's stirring the pot. Yeah. And then you are coming in and you're going, okay, cool. This is what I think the situation is with this prospective client. I'm going to send them this podcast. Yeah. I'm going to send them this case study story via email. And then I'm going to send them a quick selfie. Say, hey, I just sent you a podcast that I think is really relevant. And it is, because you took the time, because you're treating every prospect like our ideal client, there to educate them. So then you're sending a selfie video. And then you're doing this. And then you're doing like another text message like a few days out or whatever. But you're doing it from I believe from your heart, because you want to help that person. Yeah. Even if you never sign that person up. We have prospective clients that have been in our pipeline for 5-6 years. We're great friends now. They've never become a client, and we don't care. Yeah. I mean, there's one guy, he used to drive a Prado. You know who you are.
Yeah, I know who he is.
You know who he is?
Yeah.
He drives a Troopy now. Love that guy. He's never become a client, and we're fine with that. But it's about that relationship now. That's what you should be aiming for. Clients will come. Clients will sign up if you have the right mindset. Yeah. Anything else, like any other tactics, anything else you want to
deep
quickly...
do you want me to go?
Well, okay. I'm going to set the scene again. Yeah. A prospective client has received a consult request with a filled, like a questionnaire that's been filled in. Yeah. All right. It's really good. Let's assume they qualify. How do you get back to them?
I would have an email template to send as soon as I can to say, thank you so much for this inquiry. I'll give you a call, and you might give a certain time slot that you block out every day.
I'm going to call you Friday morning between 8 and 12.
So at least you've acknowledged it. That'd be for someone who can't get back to us straight away. Otherwise, if it from face value, you go, yeah, that looks really great, and you have the time,
just call
them straight away. Like what? And if you're, I don't know what to say, I don't know, spend some time putting together a bit of a script. Okay. And just the general stuff that you could say.
Can I quickly ask, can I rack your brain? What framework should the script be? So it's not particular words, specific words, but what's the framework?
Again, the mindset, start with that one before you call them. I'm here to help them. Okay. I'm just here. If they're good, I'm sure you'll be excited. But if they're thinking, no, it doesn't look quite on par, it's about calling, acknowledging, thanking them for the inquiry.
So number one is acknowledge.
Yeah. And then seeking to better understand.
Understand. What do you want to better understand?
It's unlikely, depending on how long if someone's been consuming you for a long enough time, their answers to the questions will often be more elaborate. But let's say they've only been consuming you for a little bit of time, then their answer might be a bit shorter in terms of their why. So understand their why. Try to understand, how long have you been looking at doing this?
Is it maybe just paint a real clear framework here? So again, number one, you said acknowledge them, which is great. Then number two is better understand. So within better understand, let's break it to the most simplest form. It's what is your current situation?
Yes.
So tell me about what's your living, so what's your house look like now? Yeah. Or, do you have a house? You want to formulate your question there.
Yeah. So we looked at their current situation. You want to understand that. And then you want to understand, okay, well, what are you trying to achieve? What do you want it to be like?
So it's almost like the desire.
The desired, the future desired state.
Future desired state.
And then understand why is it important for you to make that migration, moving from current state to future desired state. Yeah. That showing that interest, their emotional interest in their life and their desires will go a long way. As positioning you as someone who's just genuine. And then once you understand that, then you can go, look, based on what you achieve, because now you get more information in terms of the outcome that they want, you can say, look, sounds like what you've described, the 4 walls and roof you want. Yeah, that'll be great. However, your budget, I want to be upfront with you. I do X amount. You might offer some justification and expertise. I do X amount of projects in this price bracket with exactly what you've described, and it sits often between this and this. So is that the budget, and use examples, make them feel comfortable. Don't ever let someone feel stupid.
Yeah.
So don't say, oh, your budget's nowhere near it. Sorry, you won't come close. You can't do it. Say, look, a lot of the people we work with will often come to us with very similar to what you've described there, this kind of outcome that they want, and they've said to us, well, this is our budget. And when we sit down with them, understand, okay, this is what you're trying to achieve, the budget that you're looking for is more like this.
That's good. So it's almost like it's not asking them what is your budget. It's more saying, okay, cool. So the way I understand it is currently you're living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. You want to extend that out to a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, double garage.
Yeah.
The reason why you want to do that is because recently you've got a few more kids, you've got 2 more dogs, and so love that. I mean, that's exactly what we help our clients do. When our clients come to us and they want something like that, their budget expectation is normally between 600 and 800,000. Like, is that in line with what you were expecting in terms of your budget? And it's a nice range. It's not like, saying...
And you're saying to them as well, like, one, it's positioning you as someone who works with many people like them. You're talking about, okay, look, all of our clients come to us with similar existing state, similar future desired state. And if their budget is off, you can, say what you said there in terms of, so when our clients come to us and they're wanting that kind of change in their life and that outcome, their budget often sits between here and here. And look, a lot of we do have a lot of clients that will come to us, and this is not their world. They come from this background or this background, this background, and so often their understanding in terms of what their what they can get for their funds, it doesn't always align. So they might say to us, they'll come to us initially saying, I've got 500 and I want to achieve this. And I'll say to them, look, what you're trying to achieve is more like 600, 700, 800. And so then once we establish what's most important, it might be a case of, they just thought they could achieve it for 500, but the outcome is really important for them. And so then we go ahead and we can build it for 800 because that's on par. So you're just describing to some and helping them understand it's okay if you thought that's what it costs. Realistically, it isn't. And then kind of opening the discussion up to, I guess essentially you're trying to get out of them, is that just what you thought you would allocate? And what we want our builders to understand is just because they say they have 500 doesn't mean that's their limit.
That's all they have.
That's all they have. It might be as simple as a lack of education.
Yeah.
They thought they could get that for 500. They're willing to spend 800 because 100%. The outcome is more important.
Yeah, and it comes back down to value. Like if what they want, what they desire, that value far outweighs the money that they're going to give. They're going to give it. If it's too much money for them, then it's just not valuable enough for them, and that's fine. So that's real cool, man. I like that framework. So I'll just quickly go over that again. So, first on this call, you want to acknowledge them. And I think this call could take 5 minutes. Depends on how much the client talks. So number one is you want to acknowledge them, say, thank you for your inquiry. I really appreciate it. It's good, whatever. And then maybe build some rapport there. By now you'll know the address. Cool. What's around that area? What do you like most? I don't know, something like that. Depends on how much rapport you want to build. I think just keep it simple. Number two is better understand them. So, A, you want to understand their current situation. B, you want to understand what is their future desired state. You could flip those two around as well if you want, but make sure you get both of them because you want to know how you're going to actually help them, how you're going to,
and if you can, state it back to them.
Yeah, state it back to them. Yeah. So A, current situation. B, where do you want to go? Future desired state. 3, why is this important to you? If we accomplish this, if you accomplish your future desired state, what will that mean to your life? What will it mean to your family? The why's got to be strong. If it's just a nice to have, then it doesn't matter how much money you propose as a builder. It's going to be too much money. Then D is stating the budget from other clients. So state the budget before they even state the budget. Hey, our budget is 300 grand. Oh yeah, no, we can't do 300 grand. Just you state the budget. You say normally for clients that want to go from here to here, they can expect budget. They normally expect budget 600 to 800. Does that fit in with what you were expecting? And then the next part is probably, and you always talk about this, is then frame the process, frame the journey ahead. So now you're like, okay, cool, this might be a potential fit. this is where we're going to go. So you're mapping out the journey. So how do you normally map that out?
So let's say that conversation's gone really well, and often our guys underestimate. In words, the person maybe can't really explicitly explain or share their feelings towards you. This might sound weird, but if someone's been consuming you for a long time, they're going to have emotions towards you and the brand. So when you call them, often they're genuinely, if they've inquired with you, they're genuinely excited that you just call them. And the faster you can call them, the more surprised they are. So then the conversation can go very positively in many cases. If they don't pick up, that's a whole nother tangent we could spend time on, and following up from there. But then, positive, let's say the conversation goes very positively and you want to then progress to the process, the next step. You would then outline, for a lot of our clients that we work with, that at this stage, like this conversation's gone really well, our next step is X.
And I remember in this scenario, they have inquired with you to request a consult. Okay?
Yeah. So their intention, you've already, with what we set up for our guys, that landing page has already described what they're going to get, what that looks like, and then we've prompted them with questions. So their mind's already set on, I want that consultation. So that it won't be a surprise to them. Yeah.
So you're just saying, fantastic. So the next step moving forward is we're going to have a consult, and then maybe frame up what that consult's going to be. I mean, obviously, on the system where we set it up for our clients, we normally say, this is what you're going to get out of it. This is the value you're going to extract from this consult by coming to it. Yeah. But this is where you could just remind them. So again, we're going to get clear on your vision and so on. You've told me a little bit today, which is fantastic. I can't wait to hear more, but we're going to explore more of your vision, where you want to go with your innovation or whatever. Yeah. And then also, show you the real clear path forward from that moment, everywhere from your prelim agreement to this. So you want to pre-frame people along the way the whole time, so they know what to expect. Yeah. Prelim agreement's you're going to have to invest in that, but don't worry right now. You're not doing that right now, because before we can get to that, we need to first, understand.
And that's really important. Just put those little, ifs in there. You didn't use an if there, but it's like, don't worry about jumping ahead. We first need to assess this, and then if this is right, we can progress. Yeah. Let's look at the project. If it's something that we can really help with, if it's something we can provide a lot of value to you on, and make sure we can deliver on it, then we can go to the next step. Yeah. Because that's going to continually position you as a scarce resource, and the decision is then on the builder's part and not on the client's part. Yeah. Which is important.
Yeah, this pre-framing does a lot of things. It's exactly that. It positions you as the expert. They know what to expect next, so they don't have to try and create a process for you. You have the process, but it brings value to them, because they go, okay, so prelim agreement is going to be the next thing after we've had the consult, and my investment's going to be $3,000, $5,000 or whatever. So I know what to expect. But right now, I'm not locking in for anything, because that might not even happen. Yeah. But what happens from this point to them actually paying that invoice for that prelim agreement, you're now building more of a relationship with them. You're educating them, and again, you're building this relationship. So if it's right at that moment, then they'll go ahead. But right now, they don't have to worry about that. Now, before I move on to this next part, for some of our clients, we do paid, they want to do paid consults because they get too many inquiries. They might be higher volume and so on.
And that can range anywhere from
500,
200, 500, 1500.
That's right. So we've had a few clients do even that. The way you probably want to frame it up at this stage is hey, look, so now you understand their situation, current, future, why, all that, their budget, everything's a good match. You go, hey, fantastic. The next step of this is, by now you'll probably know the consultation, that investment is $1,000, because we stated on the landing page, and they went through that, so they kind of know. But sometimes people miss it. Just say, hey, I just want to be 100% upfront with you. This consult, the investment is $1,000. This is what you're going to get out of it. You want to sell it again. First, we're going to get clear on your vision. So you're selling it the same way. Yeah. And that's a really good one for builders that are extremely busy. You're giving them value through this call. You're giving them your time in this call already. But the next step is they've got to pay for this consult. Yeah. Then you can do it there. We ran a webinar with Richard from ProCalc, how builders can charge for this consult. Because a lot of builders, they've got this inferior,
imposter syndrome?
Yeah, because a lot of builders, they've got this imposter syndrome. They don't want to charge people for this because they go, well, I'm going to go on site and just like check it out. How can I charge people $1,000 for this? So it's about creating a real clear offer there. ProCalc has a really cool way of you actually providing value in the form of a document afterwards to give them a real clear ballpark figure. So there's ways you can create an offer to your clients there. But again, like at this point, whether you charge for it or not, it is, hey, I'm so happy for everything you've said to me on this call. It really feels like we may be able to help you. So not we can, we may be able to. We don't know yet because you still want to figure out more stuff. Let's book in the consult. I've got Friday next week or Wednesday next week available. What time suits you? And you book it in. You send them a calendar invite. You send them a text message. And then what else can you do leading up to that?
Send them maybe a case study.
That's a good idea.
Any micro stories you've got. If you've got some multi-project stories, you've got those. Those.
Why do you want to do that?
Well, those or any of those assets are going to be powerful because it's going to keep that excitement in this prospect. It's going to position you as an expert. If you're going to send them a case study, out of your library of case studies, because we're always building that library for our builders of their case studies, send one that you think is going to really resonate. Yeah. One that, based on that initial chat you've had with them, this is maybe it's a young family, or maybe it's downsizers, or whatever that may be.
And you could literally frame it up in a text message saying, hey, and by the way, send us an email and a text message.
Yes.
Send a link and say, hey, here's another young family we built for recently, and this was kind of like their journey. I thought this might be of value for you. Yeah. Because you're providing value.
Yeah, pre-framing is important. You want to give them the lenses to which you want them to watch it. It's like if you create a 3D movie, you want to give them those red and blue glasses before they walk in. Otherwise, they're not going to get the value. They're not going to enjoy it the way you've designed it to be.
So that's good. And that's why builders, because a lot of builders always ask us, is like, how many case studies do I need? Start with one quality one and then build out more depending on the different target markets that you have or different levels of target markets. And against that, going back to the understanding their situation in the call, current state, future desired state, then go, okay, cool. This couple or this family that I'm talking to right now, that's their desire, that's their future. Let's go have a look at our case study library. Which one relates the best there in that journey? Which one had a similar current state and wanted something? We're going to put that, because what that does is it pre-frames what's going to happen if they go ahead with this builder.
And it'll pre-frame them to see someone who was in their position prior to working with you.
And they can relate.
And go, this person, that's literally us. That is where we are right now. We have that same desire, but we have the same obstacles in our way. Oh, wow. And this person has the outcome already that we want, and they went with builder ABC. Therefore, if we go with builder ABC, we can move from our current state to our desired future state.
That's it. That's perfect.
The other thing I mentioned was the multi-project stories.
Yeah, why?
So they're really powerful because your prospective client's going to watch that and go, oh, wow. It's that snapshot of the on the inside. It can be looking at projects anywhere from
6 months ago.
6 months ago, just hand it over through things that maybe something that's in design phase, even right through to every stage of the build. But we'll spend the morning with the builder and visit these different projects, talk about these different projects, and then outline, who are these clients? Why did they come to you? What were they trying to solve? What was their why? Why did they choose you? What are the challenges on a build like this, and how are you going to be overcoming those challenges to get the client to that desired outcome?
That's cool.
So it's positioning you as an authority. It's getting someone excited to show this is the progress happening on the inside.
And also currently.
It
wasn't 2 years ago or 3 years ago or last year. It is, hey, so when you text this thing, here's a snapshot of our projects that we're currently busy with. I hope you get some ideas out of it. Yeah. Again, value. This is the value you're going to get from it. Man, that positions you as an expert.
Huge.
Because who wants to go to a business? I don't know if it's the same with you. Like, whenever we're like in some weird place that we're not like somewhere else.
You're going out to a restaurant.
And we're looking for restaurants. Or like coffee. I know this happens because you and I, we wake up really early. Whenever we go to a workshop or whatever in Sydney or Melbourne that we host, we'll wake up super early. Andre's he sleeps in. And then I look for coffee that's open right now. And then I look for like reviews and even just images or their Instagram and see have they been busy lately? Like, are they current?
Yeah.
So this is a good way for you as a builder to show that you're current. Like,
And that's a whole other model to talk about on another different day, but that gravitational pull. So if you're showing that you're busy with X, Y, and Z projects going on at the moment, gravitationally, you're going to pull people in.
yeah.
But if you're not showing that you're busy and you look quiet, then there's no gravity. It's like, what's got more gravitational pull, Jupiter or our moon? Well, Jupiter is way larger. So imagine that you showing that you're busy, you're going to pull people in.
It's almost like, success creates success,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I love it. Like multi-project, like our clients love that. I think it's something they've got to do at least once a year. And the cool thing is builders can do that like once a year. You don't have to do it every month, luckily, because you could show like recent projects that you've just handed over. So you can go on the finished project site and go, this is what, the clients, they were in this state and they wanted this and they wanted it because of this. And this is what we've created for them. And then, and then maybe something in progress at the moment. You might be finishing it off, like finished details, or a project that's like, midway through, like framing's going up or whatever. And then, like you said before, one that's in design. So you can talk on all those parts and you can show you're the expert. You can show why clients approach you first as opposed to other people in the industry.
Yeah. And you get to talk about where the most value is being provided on this relationship or on this project
Yeah. So it's about like really showing, like just moving back to, okay, cool. So we've booked the consultation. You've got assets.
Sometimes even I recommend our guys sending them the overview again. So never assume your clients have watched any of your stories. Unless, let's say you got on the call and they said, we watched your overview story.
Send it again anyway.
Send it again, and say, hey, I just want to send you this leading up to our meeting. And if it resonates, and that's the key part, if it resonates, I'm really excited to see you at the meeting. Because then you've, again, given them the lenses to go, oh, if this resonates, then this is a good thing and he's excited to see me.
That's it.
Whereas if it doesn't resonate, well, then there's no point wasting your time.
That's right.
So
it takes them back to the why. Because the business overview story, it's got to create this sense of, obviously as a business, you need to communicate your why and why clients come to you. And everything we do in it, like visuals and everything, is around the why, the family, the hobby, like everything. And a little bit of the home. It's not about the actual bricks and all that. So again, it's like changing their frame, like what you said before. I love that. Because now, like, if they see it, like, I don't know, an hour before this meeting, it might just change the script of this meeting from the clients going like, so we want to remove this column over here, we want to do that, like, to like you being the guide. Yeah.
What do you think we should do? We want family. We can't wait to invite family over here for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or when we've got a big family, we always celebrate birthdays here at home. We invite everyone into our home. We want this feeling going on. Is that I specialize in helping families create the home and the space for their community.
So never assume they've watched the overview, send it again. Yeah. So again, I'm going to go back to, you've booked the consult, you are looking at all your assets that you can send them to provide more value, not just to sell yourself. Again, mindset is about helping people. Help. So how else can you help them? And then maybe just writing out, okay, cool. There's the consult. It's at 12 p.m. on Friday. Just go minus 2 hours. I'm going to send my overview. Minus 24 hours. I'm going to send them this multi-project story to show what I've been doing, what I'm doing, what's in the pipeline, show that certainty.
Yeah.
And then minus another 48 hours, send them a case study that's relevant to them. And just map out what that looks like. Obviously, you've got your automations running. We've set up your systems, all those things, all that's happening. But now you've got to go, okay, on a one-on-one point of view, how am I going to follow this person up and create the value? Yeah. So I love that, man.
That's it.
What's the biggest piece of value you can give all our builder clients before we finish this podcast? Because they need to listen to this one.
It would be to go with the right mindset into working with that prospect and treating everyone like they're your ideal client. Because worst case scenario, they're not, but you've just made a fantastic brand ambassador for yourself. And essentially a referral soldier, which one of our clients coined that term.
Like 8-9 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. Forget about you just trying to sell, get the next project.
Close this deal.
It's about what impact are you creating as a builder? You've got to remember, like one thing I've said this multiple times, one reason why I'm a little bit jealous or envious of builders is the fact that they can drive around, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years from now with their kids in the back seat or their grandkids even and go, hey, look over there. I built that project we were a part of creating that family's, like relationships and all that stuff. Like what impact am I giving?
Yeah.
If you can get clear on the impact that you're providing people and that impact you're providing on your community and all that, it will change the way how you communicate to everyone. And I believe there's no bad inquiry.
Yeah.
We get bad inquiries and then I'm like, man, that's a bad inquiry. But I've got to change my mindset. I've got to go, how do I help this person?
Yeah.
I'm not, even if I don't take money from this person, we don't sign them up or anything, it'll just be a hassle if we do, but how can I help this person?
Essentially, when you send them on their way, you want them to be thanking you.
Yeah. You want them to feel good.
Make that little KPI for if they're not a good person, how much can I help this person before if I catch a fish and it's a bad fish, how much can I love on this fish and nurture it before I set it free again?
Yeah, it's good. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for this podcast, man. It was huge value. We should use this.
I'm definitely keen for part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is going to be good.
Awesome.